Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Two Old Farts. My name is Chuck.
I'm Lou, and better looking at two old farts. You don't look like you had a good day. You're all red in the face there.
Man, it's technology, man. It's failing us again. Just we got ready to launch, and then it gave me an error saying, "Oh, something went wrong.
If it's
You
not
need
me,
to
it's you.
refresh."
Huh?
Then it
And I
said
forgot to put,
refresh, and
I forgot to
hang
put
on.
my tooth on, so I'll be a snaggletooth here, old fart today.
So I got ready to refresh, and then it went through the countdown. I'm like, "Well, shit." Then before we got started, I was trying to use my little podcast studio, the Rodecaster, and it wouldn't. The laptop and the thing wouldn't. They weren't recognizing each other. So let me just restart the computer. Then the dang thing wouldn't even boot back up. So yeah, I've been struggling for like the last 10 dang minutes to get everything up and running.
Let me tell you, I went and got my new ID card today, right?
All right.
So I thought it was going to be at Lackland.
Well, where'd you make the appointment?
Well, I did it online through military ID type thing, and
Yeah.
it said Lackland,
Okay.
right? So I wasn't sure if I was going to need a vehicle pass. So anyway, I went in and got it. And the guy said, "No, let me check your ID card, make sure it's still valid. If it is, you don't need a pass." I said, "Okay." I said, "The ID card's still in the same place, that old building, right?" He said, "Yep." He said, "Just go down to the light, turn right, go down to the next light, and just go across." So I did. I don't know why my GPS in the car just didn't pick up anything on Lackland. It could get me to Lackland, but nothing on Lackland. A few months ago, when I was at one of my VA appointments, two of the ladies that I know there said use Maze, the Wave rather.
Ways.
So anyway, I went on there and I hooked it up, and it gave me directions. Well, when I started going to where I thought the passing ID would be, or for the ID card, it kept rerouting me. And after about two or three times, I said, "This is not right." So I said, "I'm just going to go where it tells me to go." Right? Took me to Kelly. I said, "Oh man," I said, "I know this is not right." But you know what? That's exactly where it was. Kelly, there's a place that she was telling me that for a lot of the retirees, because there's so many people that go to the main building over there. And I get it, especially all the active duty military and dependents and all that kind of stuff, that they do a lot of the retirees over there. It's a secondary unit. There was only one person ahead of me. I had an appointment at 10. I was 10:20, I was out of there after even talk about some jokes and tell them about our podcast. But it took me right on the Kelly. I went around and don't ask for whereabouts over out. But
Is it, will you stop? You're being a butthole. Look at him.
yeah, I see.
He wants attention.
He want to get into the picture.
No, he wants me to let him out because he's looking out the window, and in the windowsill there's a lizard that's right there where he can see it, and he's he
He
wants
want,
to go
he,
he wants to go chase after it.
so anyway, good thing I left early because I wasn't sure. Anytime you're going someplace you ain't been in 10 years or so, you're better off leaving a little bit early. So anyway, I got it and everything all taken care of. But it was an adventure though. I don't know why. For once, I said, let me just listen to what this damn thing is telling me, make the turns what it tells me. And next thing you know, it says, you have reached your destination. So I see the sign outside said, about ID cards and, that kind of stuff. And I go in and it says ID cards to your right. So went in, it all worked out. Anyway, when I got there, I was just kind of BSing with the lady about how the security forces and air police and security police all changed titles and stuff like that. And so it was nice. And then she said, "You want to keep this just as a memento?" I said, "Yeah, I'll keep it." Somehow between there and the house, I lost that damn ID card. I mean, the old one,
How did you lose it?
I have no idea. First off, I didn't, it said take two different types of IDs and stuff like that. So I took everything. Passport, and of course I got my driver's license. I took my 214 just in case. She said, "No, you're already in the system. All we need is your ID card." Okay, so we got it all done. That was interesting morning. So
It sounds like it.
yeah, but I'm glad we got it. My driver's license is good for like 6 years, I think, and then got my ID card done, so I'm done. Anyway, so how was your concert last night?
Oh man, it was really good. Uh, And about 30 or 40 other people, we were able to purchase the meet and greet with the band, and so we got to come into the last part of sound check with the band. They had already pretty much done their sound check. Well, then they just played a song for us, which wasn't one of their songs. It was a cover song, and kind of got to BS with the band while they were on the stage, and then they came off. We got in a line. We got up there, and we got to meet the band real quickly. Shake their hand, say hey, how you doing? Exchange a few words. Give them your phone. They take your picture, and then out the door you go.
Yeah. So what group did you go see?
A band called Down. So it was a side project band for the singer of Pantera, and in that side project band, he got the singer from Corrosion of Conformity, who plays guitar, the singer of Crowbar, who plays guitar, and a few of his other friends in other bands. It's kind of like a super group, if you will.
Yeah.
So, over the 20 or so years that they've been together, they put out a few albums, gone on tour a couple times. So it was really cool to meet them. But here's the funny part. So my good friend, one of my good friends that I met there at the Aztec years ago at a concert, and we became very good friends because we like bourbon and we like heavy metal. He was coming later and he brought his wife. But while I was in line to get in for the meet and greet, as well as because after we did the meet and greet, we had to leave the place and then to come back in when the doors opened back up. There's this guy and he's dressed like Jesus. He's got the robe and then the little red sash. He's got long, kind of wavy hair. He's got the beard, the whole bit. He's heavy metal Jesus. So, and I had seen him at a Down concert. No, it wasn't. It was at the Housecore Horror Festival at the Aztec, and it was another one of Phil Anselmo's project bands called Superjoint Ritual. And anyway, years ago, I saw that same Jesus. He was out crowd surfing with the band, and just got to talking with him. He's a really cool guy, and he gave me this little plastic little Jesus figurine.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, we hung out in the line to get T-shirts. Just a real cool guy, and he also likes bourbon and cokes.
Okay.
So if you see heavy metal Jesus, buy him a drink.
Okay. Yeah, we had a good concert Saturday night when we went out and saw Blackberry Smoke. That was pretty good.
Oh man, that was such a good concert. It was even better than last year's.
Yeah. And your mom even liked the opening band.
Yeah, they were pretty good too.
Yeah. And they're from Georgia too, right? From Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I thought it was pretty neat that they brought the lead singer, Blackberry Smoke, and they did that, what, one or two songs together?
they did one song together, but that guy, I cannot remember his name. It'll come to me in a minute, or maybe it won't. He at 16 had written a very hit song for the band um, Whiskey Myers. And if you don't know who Whiskey Myers is, you probably do if you've watched Yellowstone. Taylor Sheridan, the guy who wrote and created numerous shows, one of which is Yellowstone, he likes to have a lot of these alternative type country bands or roots country or whatever, if you will. And Whiskey Myers has been featured in a clip of one of the episodes as a band playing on the stage. And you've probably heard one of their songs or two in the show. So, and if they ever come back to Flores, it's been a couple of years, we definitely need to go check them out.
Okay. Well, on our last podcast, we were talking about music and stuff. So I did some research. I was going to send it over to you, but hell, I run out of time. I don't know what the hell I've been doing, but I run out of time.
Well, it's good that you didn't because I had a lot of homework to catch up on. I'm in my last week of my one graduate class at National Defense University, and I started this week with my AFIT class. So that's my second class with AFIT. I've already done one. This is starting my second. and I just am finishing up my first one with NDU. So I've had nothing but homework and projects to get done, which I finally got it all done today. So I'm glad you didn't send me nothing because I wouldn't have had time to read it.
Did some research on there's a lot of stuff. Some of the most influential rock bands of all time, according to Science, this article. The top five,
Science.
the top five include the Beatles, had 210 mentions. Led Zeppelin, 151. The Rolling Stones, 146. U2, 139, and David Bowie, 127.
I wouldn't say U2 as an
Now, Bob
influential.
Dylan came in with number 6. Elton John, and the same as Queen and Jimi Hendrix and Red Hot Chili Peppers. Bruce
That's
Springsteen
Chili
came
Peppers? Are
in.
you kidding me? Who put this list together?
It's an article by Science. I don't know who the
Well,
hell that.
they're full of crap. They got U2 over David Bowie or Queen.
Yeah, they're going by how many mentions they had.
Who cares about mentions, man? It's not even close, people. We want to hear about this on Facebook and Twitter, or X as it's called now. I'm throwing the bullshit flag on this one.
And then some of the most influential albums, concept albums, was the most influential album of all time was Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. It's widely considered as the best album concept. So you can jump in and give us your opinion. I don't know.
No, it is. I'm not as familiar with Sgt. Pepper that Sgt. Pepper album as much as I am on the Beatles' White Album and Abbey Road.
Uh-huh.
Those to me are like really great albums that are important to me. But to me, the best concept album was either Pink Floyd's The Wall or Pink Floyd's God, what's the one with the pyramid on it?
Well,
It would come to me.
he was in that group, Pink Floyd.
Dark Side of the Moon. I would have to say Pink Floyd's The Wall is probably the greatest concept album of all time.
And Aerosmith and The Who and Metallica were all in that group too.
Yeah, they are influential.
So in the modern era, who do you think some of the most talented songwriters are?
Songwriters. I know it's not Elton John because he didn't write his songs. Bernie Taupin wrote all of his hit songs. I would say Bernie Taupin. John Mellencamp, believe it or not, I think writes some great songs.
According to this list here, and it says some of the most influential and acclaimed songwriters. Bob Dylan was listed first.
Yeah, I would see
that.
that.
As one of the greatest songwriters. Then Paul Simon, known for his work as a solo artist and with Simon and Garfunkel. Joni Mitchell, her introspective songwriting, unique musical style. Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, I could see Leonard Cohen. I mean, Joni Mitchell, I wouldn't put her up that high.
Stevie Wonder, David Bowie.
Yeah, David Bowie.
Prince.
Definitely Prince.
Now this next one's going to knock you out of your chair. Taylor Swift.
You know what? She writes some very great pop music. You know, you got to give it to her. But you know who else is not in that I would think over Joni Mitchell? Hall and Oates.
Who?
Hall and Oates.
Okay. Then they had Kendrick Lamar and Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
Eilish, okay. Who do you think some of the best living songwriters are?
Best living songwriters.
One of them is Bob Dylan, as I had asked about, for Blowing in the Wind, The Times Changing. Paul McCartney.
Yeah. I can see Paul McCartney.
Paul Simon. Stevie Nicks.
Yes, definitely Stevie Nicks. I would put Stevie Nicks over Joni Mitchell again.
Yeah. Then Jackson Browne.
Yep. I would also throw in Neil Young, Bruce Springsteen, Elvis Costello, and one of my favorites, Tom Waits.
Okay. And of course, it has Joni Mitchell in there. Then Barry Gibb and Dolly Parton was nominated.
What about Brian Wilson, Beach Boys?
It doesn't say. Chris Christopherson, Nora Kaminsky.
Well, Christopherson just died.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all need to stop. These dogs, man.
So some of the top 5 money-making songs of all times. In 5th place, we got Stand By Me.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah. In fourth, Unchained Melody.
Okay,
Third was Yesterday by John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
I can see that.
And third was, fourth was You Lost That Loving Feeling. Very
Righteous
Man and
Brothers.
Cynthia Well. And it brings in 125 million. Yesterday brought in 60 million. And
What
number
about
one,
Roy Orbison in Pretty Woman? I'm sure that's
no,
still making
not
some
in
money.
not as far as money is concerned, it's not in the top five. The number one song for 120 years. What do you think it is?
120 years? Is it Happy Birthday?
Happy Birthday. It's still the richest and most popular song of all time, written by the Hill Sisters in 1893. And today it costs about $25,000 to use the song in a movie or TV show. The estimated earnings over that period of time has been 70.
Interesting.
That's, you wouldn't think that song would cost that much money. $25,000 to use it. It's pretty interesting. All that information. See what you got me into?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about country. So, who do you think some of the most notable figures or influential country singers?
Country singers. Let's start off with Hank Williams,
Yep,
Patsy
Hank Williams.
Cline, Loretta Lynn, Ray Price, Willie Nelson. Moving more into the modern era, I would say Garth Brooks, maybe Winona Ryder, Kenny Chesney, Alan Jackson.
Yeah, they're all good. According to this article, some of the more detailed looked at impacts and other figures. One was Willie Nelson, known for his songwriting contribution to the outlaw country music movement. Johnny Cash, the
Skip
rebel
right over
minded
Johnny Cash.
country music. Dolly Parton, known for her unique voice and stage presence, her contribution to both music and fashion world. George Strait.
Yep, George. But he doesn't write any of his songs.
No, these are influential country singers. Then you
Okay.
had Patsy Cline. And some of the others that mentioned is something like you're talking about, Merle Travis, Chet Atkins, and some of those guys. Who are some of the iconic country music singers, or the most iconic? Keith Urban.
No, I can't stand him. He's not country.
Yeah, this next one is kind of took me by surprise. Chris Stapleton, Carrie Underwood, Shania Twain.
Okay.
Waylon Jennings was number 5. Willie Nelson 6. Merle Haggard 7. Garth Brooks 8. George Strait 9, and Taylor Swift is 10. Strange, huh?
Yeah, it just seems like a popularity contest on a lot of these picks.
Yeah, it is. Well, you seem like you're just running all over the place there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get away from these dogs. I had to shut the door. They're being buttholes today. Normally they just lay there beside me, so I'm going upstairs. Hopefully they'll quiet down.
Well, they're just happy to see you.
No, they're running around, barking, fighting, wanting attention, wanting to chase squirrels and lizards. They're just being a nuisance.
Wanting all that good stuff, huh?
Yeah, if you say so. Yeah, this is probably the craziest podcast episode I've ever had to do. Yelling at the dogs, having to close the door, open the door.
So, what do you think about some of that stuff? It kind of surprised on some.
Yeah, like I said, I think a lot of that is a popularity contest. But then again, that's their opinion, and I'm expressing my opinion because I.
Who do you think the most influential musicians of all time are?
And again, it's all subjective.
Well, I'm just asking your opinion.
Off the top of my head, I'm going to say Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eddie Van Halen, John Bonham, the drummer from Led Zeppelin. I'm also going to throw in Keith Moon, drummer from The Who. Both of them are deceased. Drugs and alcohol got a hold of those guys. Elvis Presley.
And he's a very influential person, just like Stevie Ray Vaughan. If you like music, you have got to listen to some Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, he can get it.
Yeah, he can play guitar. Who else? Trying to span and cross all genres. Taylor Swift is obviously a very important and influential person. Stevie Nicks, from a woman's standpoint, Loretta Lynn and Dolly Parton, as you said earlier. I mean, the not only the songs in the era in which Loretta Lynn sang and sang about, I mean, some very controversial subjects, as we've talked about in the past. I think that warrants inclusion. Dolly Parton, for her contributions as a singer, songwriter, and then crossing over into
To the pop.
to pop, but mostly into acting.
Yes.
So, you got to give some credit there. Elvis, rock and roll. Chuck Berry, definitely got to throw Chuck Berry in there.
Man, I love Chuck Berry.
And back to drummers again. I'm going to throw in Ringo Starr. Not
Yep.
a great technical drummer, but you know what? He's technically the first rock and roll drummer, if you think about it. Because up until the Beatles, nobody really knew who anybody's drummer was.
Exactly.
And, he's had a very successful career post Beatles. So, as a rock and roll drummer who kind of like wrote the book on how to be one, if you will, I would throw Ringo Starr in there. Today, again, Bob Dylan, you can't discount his contributions as a singer and songwriter, very influential. Nirvana, for what they have done. In the punk realm, I would throw in the Ramones, the Clash, Johnny Cash, because you know what? A lot of punk rockers love Johnny Cash. They cite him as an influence, believe it or not.
Yep. Well, he had such an influence. He wasn't just somebody who just locked in and focused on doing one thing. I mean, he could do it all. Folsom Prison. Who the hell ever went to Folsom Prison put on a concert for prisoners?
Nobody.
And Merle Haggard, I think, maybe done one there.
Well, wasn't Merle Haggard in prison?
Yep. He went back and put on a concert. I don't know about Waylon.
Waylon played bass guitar for Buddy Holly.
Yep.
Buddy Holly is another influential singer, songwriter, musician.
He was ahead of his time.
Yes, very much so.
And a lot of these guys, they have sons or daughters that are really good. You take it, Waylon Jennings. I really enjoyed when we went to see way more.
With Shooter Jennings.
Shooter Jennings. And who else did we see? Son. You got Hank Jr., but we didn't see him.
We haven't seen him, but with Willie, his son.
Yep.
And then when we saw Ray Price, his son's in the band.
Yeah. And you think about Ray Price, 5 generations.
5 decades.
5 decades, he had a
number one hit.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The guys are just ahead of their time. And these last few years, you and I have been going to a lot of concerts. They're a lot of fun to me. It exposed me to seeing some things differently. Actually, probably enjoyed, didn't realize how much I did enjoy to go back into it,
Well, I always knew you would like George Thorogood. I always knew because you've always liked that rock and roll era from the 50s and early 60s when those guys were getting after it, and I just knew you would like him. But my favorite memory of us going to a show was Chubby Checker, and you and me getting up on the stage and doing the twist with Chubby Checker. I mean, how cool is that, Dad?
Yeah, I got to go back and look. I've got some George Thorogood videos, and I think I might. I don't know if I got to check. I know I got some pictures. I got to go back and look. So I think Kaylee, I got her Christmas present, got it up running. So I got all kind of pictures and stuff on that.
It only took 3 months, Kaylee.
It only took 3 months. It wasn't you; it was on me. But so I got all kinds of videos and stuff on that digital picture frame she gave us for Christmas. I love that thing.
So it is pretty cool.
I'm going to go back and look for some Chuck Berry and George Thorogood. I got some videos that's on there too, as well as pictures and stuff like that. Then you can't see it, but I got my picture up there. That and the thing that Brenda and Mackenzie gave me, the little drink holder thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's one of the best Christmas presents, even though they're late and when you look at things. But to me, it's not about when you get it; it's what you get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that picture with Devontae and were those other 2 guys on that picture with him?
Is it Ingram and so Smitty, Ingram, and Bryce Young, right?
No, 22 running back.
To Derrick Henry.
Yep, Derrick Henry. So you got what, 3 Heisman there?
Yep.
Well,
Didn't Bryce Young win the Heisman?
who?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young did. Devontae didn't.
Yes, Devontae did, Dad.
Yeah. So
Devontae is one of 3 players that's won a Heisman, a national championship, and now a
that's
Super Bowl.
yeah. So I finally got that up. I got it on the wall over there, so I can see it. And I like that picture frame that Katie sent. Put all the pictures up and got some pictures of you and your sister with you standing on the crutches. I don't know why you were with shorts on and having to use a crutch.
No, either.
How about falling off the top of a damn car, breaking your hip?
Well, yeah, that.
So the picture from that time. So this just brings back memories. When you start getting up all the age, memories are more important to you or more fun to watch. You laugh at them and say, how the hell was I that stupid?
It ain't hard to do.
No, it's not. But anyway, I just want to give a shout out and tell Kaylee we did get it and appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give a shout out to your favorite aunt, too. I know she's probably listening. We may be getting a couple more people. I was talking on the messages to two of the cousins up in Michigan, telling about our podcast, Teresa and Cindy. So hopefully we'll get some people up there listening to our podcast, too.
Well, if I can't get this computer and this Rodecaster to sync back up again, and then to where you can hear me, there's no way we can do a podcast because I don't have a way to get it through the phone into this unless I can look for a different recording platform.
Right.
That can maybe do 3 guests in video.
That'd be nice. All right, we're getting close to that time.
Yep, not having much to say. We sure have a lot to say.
That's right. Next time I'll make sure I put my flipper in so I don't have the snaggletooth showing there.
Yep, there you go.
When you look at it in the mirror, it don't look that damn good. But anyway, at this age, who gives a shit?
You're right there.
All right. We'll see you.
Y'all take care, everybody. See y'all later.
All right,
Love you.
bye.